Hi, I'm Kyle Davis. I'm going to be talking about AutoCAD architecture, and I'm going to talk about the project browser and project navigator. This tool is very handy in creating projects and navigating through a project. So today's agenda is going to be going through project templates, where to go and set that up, and then how to create and open a project using the project browser, and then how to navigate through the project using Project Navigator. And then also afterward we will talk about upcoming events with CTC, and then again we'll have the question and answer sessions. So at this point I'm going to switch back to AutoCAD architecture. And here I am in the 2015 version, so I'm going to mention a few new features if you have not already seen the new 15. First thing is we have the recent files tab. We have recent documents that we can click to open, files that we've had open in the past. You can also start a new drawing or open a file that you already had, and you also have the ability to open a project. We'll go over this for the project browser. So first thing I need to explain is using the project setup, some settings you will look for to start a project. So I'm going to start a blank drawing. In order to do this, I need to go into options. So inside the options, there is a tab for AEC project defaults. This is where you will go to set up a project standard. Here we have some paths. If I drop down the project location and search path, there's a setting here for controlling where the projects will get stored by default. You can change this to your local net drive or to a network location. Then here you have default project templates. Then underneath there you will have your constructs, template file, element template file, model view template files, section elevation template files, detail view template files, and sheet set template files. Each one of these has a path that you can grab a particular template to use to create these views and these sheets. Then here we also have default project bulletin board. This is the out-of-the-box one. It's just giving information about the project. You can host your own HTML page, whatever you choose to locate here. You also have a default project image. If you have a particular image you want to assign for a project, you can assign the default image here. So again, these can be changed at any time to set up your standards. You can change the templates, save them, and then when you create a new project, it will use these templates as defaults. Okay, the next thing is to create or open a project using the project browser. When you're inside a file already, the project browser button is located on the quick access toolbar. And then in here you will see a list of all your current active projects. You also have a button at the bottom for new project. If I create a new project, it will come up and ask for project number and project name and project description. Then down here we get to choose from template project. If I click on the button, it will go to a location and you can grab a template file, which is an APJ. Once you use that, this will be your standard of how your project is set up with how much constructs, how much elements, views, sheets you have in your project. So if I click OK, it'll create that project and it'll run through creating all the drawings and moving them to the correct location where your projects are stored. and it also makes that project active. Once you got your project set up and started, you will then use the Project Navigator, which by default pops up when right after you're finished with creating a project. If it does not, the Project Navigator button is located on the Quick Access toolbar next to Project Browser. And with the Project Navigator, there are a few tabs on the side. Very first tab is Project, which gives you project information. Up here we have the name of the project, the number, and the description that we gave it. Then below we have the levels for this project. Here, if I need to edit this information, I can come to the Edit button, and then I can edit the information of the levels, the heights. I can change them here. So once I have entered my information, you'll see here that when I update the level, it's automatically changing the next one above it, because here, floor to floor height, I can assign. If I want to create more levels, I can add a level over here. And depending on which level I had selected, it will create the level above that. Then I can rename it to whatever I desire. And then there's a description. I can type in the description for this level. You can also delete levels. If I don't need a level, I could select it, hit delete, and it deletes the level. When I hit OK, it's going to ask me, do you want to adjust the views? Because we've changed the height of the levels, so you will want to say yes. So now you can see over here it's adjusted to the correct elevations that I assigned. Once you got your levels set up, then I come to the Constructs tab, and I will have my constructs, and underneath I'll have some of the default elements, such as architectural or structural. If you do it in mechanical, you can also put in a mechanical folder here as well. When I expand one of these folders, I then have folders underneath it broken up into the sections of the building, such as the shell, the interior, the core, the roof, the site, and the slab. Then underneath each one of these, I will have a drawing for each level that I choose to have one for. For instance, here I have one for the basement, level 1, and level 2. And then to work with these files, all you have to do is simply double click on it, and it will open that file for editing. Up here on the underneath, we have the tab for this drawing. You can see I'm in 01 shell. So then I can simply draw my elements that I need to in this level. Over here I would make sure my heights are correct, so I need 15 feet for this level. I'm going to draw my walls. So here I have my elements drawn, and then I will simply save this file and close out of it. Now if I close out of this last drawing as well, my default drawing, I can still have the Project Navigator open. This allows me to close out of any drawing and then go right back into another drawing by simply double clicking on that drawing. So now I'm in level 2, And now I want to reference in level 1 so that I can see the walls that I can draw over top of it. The Project Navigator has the greatest feature for this because I can come over here to the construct, drag level 1 into my drawing, let go, and it's now referenced in. I no longer have to go into the XREF manager and go through all the bringing in an XREF. I simply drag and drop. And since my project was set up with this elevations and levels, the Project Navigator and Project Browser set up the drawing so that when I come into my level 2 drawing in XREF in level 1, it's automatically below my reference plane. So here you can see my walls touch the reference grid here where level 2 will start. This makes it easier again to make sure that your walls are sitting directly over top of your levels below and above. So here when I'm in level 2, I'm going to go ahead and draw the same thing. Now here I'm going to have to make sure my walls are correct. One of the things about AutoCAD architecture here, when you draw on top of the other wall, it will push them down. However, go into my properties, and I'm going to change the elevation to 0 feet. That will push them back up. Now I need to make sure my wall heights are 13 feet so that they touch the level above. So now that I have my level 1 drawing and my level 2 drawings created, again I'm going to save this drawing and I'm going to close out. So over here again I did the level 1 and level 2 for the constructs. This is where you'll be doing all your work for creating the elements of walls, doors, windows, placing all those elements. Then we have on the side the View tab, the Views tab. You create views, or go to the Views tab, and then again you have your default here for views, and then architectural. Now again, if you want to create a new folder, you can by right-clicking on View and creating a new category. This will allow you to create structural views, mechanical views, plumbing views, electrical views, if you choose to go to those other disciplines. So here I already have a folder for architectural. This was in the template by default. So here if I expand that, I will have the different types of views that created. Here I have floor plans. If I expand that, here are my different floor plans. So I'm going to double click on first floor plan here. If I open that up, it automatically goes into model, and it has level 1 already XREF'd into it. So here if I go back to Model tab, you will see level 1 is already in it, plus some other drawings that were already created, such as some sections and elevations. Now you can have these set up already ahead of time in your project template. If you don't want these views in here, when you set up your template, you just do not include these elevations and sections. So when you create your views, this is then where you will use this to tag information or place additional elements such as your rooms. So if I come in here, I'm going to go place a room or a space. And then I can tag this space by using tags, room tag project base. So when you have this, the room tag project base, this is for when you're using particular projects. Because what this one will do is when I click on a space, place it, it comes up and it asks for information. You can enter all the ceiling color, the base finish, the floor finish, the north color. All this information is already available, And here, as you can see, it automatically is doing 101. Here I can also say increment of 1. So when I hit OK, it's automatically going to be space in 01 because that's what I told it to be inside the properties. However, you can always change that by selecting the room and changing its properties for the number. So here, if I go to select the room, properties, if I go to extended data, here's the name of that space, and here's the project number, here's the project level, and here's the increment, so 01. So when you're using project-based tags, the project space number will change, the door numbers will change based on the project, rather than simply giving it a tag and giving it a number manually. So once you get your views set up, you tag your elements, you place in your elements that you want to be in the views. You would then save this drawing, close out. Then you can go into your Sheets drawing. And on your Sheets tab, here again I have my architectural sheets, but you also have General, so your cover sheet. But you also have your architectural. If I drop it down, I have Plans. If I drop that down, here's the individual plans underneath, A101 for first floor or basement. In this scenario, here's A102 for first floor. If I go ahead and double click on that, it automatically has first floor already inserted. It has the title block I have assigned to the project. Again, to set this up, you would need to set up a sheet template and then save that sheet template as a DWT. And then in the standards for in your options, you set it to use this template when creating a sheet. And then in here, it automatically already has a viewport as well. So if I double click in there, it already has the viewport and is looking at the element. And it also automatically already has a scale assigned to it, depending on the scale of the view that you've already set up. So if I'm going to go back here to views, if I go back into level 1 view, it is set to be 1/8 of an inch. So when it comes into the sheet drawing, it's automatically set to that correct scale. So here I'm going to go ahead and close out of all views. And I'm going to show you kind of how to, again, start from scratch a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and close the Project Navigator. I'm going to go back into the project browser. And I'm going to create a new project. However, this time I'm going to not create from template project. So here again, project number, project name, and description. So I'm going to hit OK. Again, it's going to go through and create that project. Now notice it went really fast because there's no drawings created already. So if I hit close, it's going to pop up the Project Navigator, and there's absolutely nothing in here. It's all blank. So if you're starting from scratch and you don't have any levels you want to have it defaulted to, you can create from scratch, then come in here and create additional levels by editing levels, add new levels, once I create these other levels, I hit OK. It's going to say, do you want to generate views for this project? I'm going to say yes. So over here you see the levels now generated. I'm going to go to constructs, and it defaults with constructs and elements in here. So now if I click on constructs, I can right click, new, category. Then I can give this the architectural. Then I can right-click on that, new construct. Then it comes up with add construct. Here I can give it a name. Then down here I get to assign what levels are going to be in this drawing. So I can say level 1, hit OK. Now over here it says first floor. I'm going to go ahead and also do the same here. Create another construct. Call this one second floor. And I'm going to check the box for level 2. Hit OK. Now here's second floor. I'm going to double click on first floor construct to open it. And it's going to open using the template that I specified inside the options. So here I can do the same thing of placing walls. So here I got my walls. I'm going to save this drawing. Close it. Then go into level 2 drawing. Same thing as I did before. I can take first floor, pull it into the view, let go, and now it's referenced into this view. And then I'm going to just draw some walls around it, have a bigger overhang for this second floor. Save this drawing and close out. Now you can stay in the constructs anytime you need to. You can be in both constructs. I can be in views and constructs. I can make a change to one, and then it will ask me if that the other one's been updated, and then you can just reload it. Just like normal XREFing, but a little bit faster navigation and reloading. So here for views, it doesn't have any views here, so I'm going to right-click on it, new category, and again, this is when I can say either my general or architectural. Once I create an architectural, I can then right-click, new view drawing. Then I could type or choose what type of view it's going to be. Is it going to be a general view for a floor plan, or a section elevation, or is it a detailed view? So here I'm going to choose general. Then it comes up and asks for the name of the view. And then the category that it is. And the description, if you want to give it a description. Then I hit next. Then I get to choose what levels are going to be in this view. Level 1 is going to be here. Then I hit next. Now it's going to ask here, if I chose the level, it's going to say what levels drawings do you want to include. Here I only have one drawing for first floor, so I'm just going to let it include that one and say finish. So over here I now have level 1. Again, if I double click on it, level 1 is automatically XREF'd into this view. So now I don't have to, again, XREF this into a view drawing. It's already there for me if you did those steps correctly. So here I'm just going to save the drawing and close out. So now I got a view created. Now I'm going to create a sheet. So if I come down here to sheets, again I have architectural. If I drop that down, I have general, plans, elevations, and all those that are set up inside the template. So here I'm going to come down to plans, right click. Oh. some reason it's not letting me. Oh, down here, there's add sheet. Changed the location on me, so I got to say add sheet down here. Then it comes up with the sheet number, so I'm going to give it a sheet number and title. Here, you can already see what the file name is going to be. Hit OK. Now I have a sheet. I'm going to double click on it to open. And again, here, since I'm starting from scratch, it doesn't have anything in it. So all I have to do is go back to the Views tab, grab Level 1, pull it into my sheet, let go, place the view. So now I have my Level 1 view XREF'd into my sheet drawing. It's already there for me. So again, all my documentation will already be set up. Again, if I have chose my template to have my title block, that will already be there as well. And down here in this particular title block, it has a dynamic features of knowing what view and what title you gave it. So it's automatically setting in there correctly. So that's how you navigate through the Project Navigator. The last thing about the Navigator is closing and opening another project. So if I go back to the project browser, here it will show you the current active project. So every time you open up AutoCAD, the next time it will already have this project open. If I wanted to open another project, I simply just come into the project browser, double click, and now that is the project I'm in. So here if I close out, it'll ask me, hey, I am in another project. I'm going to say close all project files. This will close out the files from that other project. And now I'm ready to be in the new project that I just opened. So here I can see all my constructs and project information are the new project I just opened. Now when you're done with the project as well and you don't want to be in any project at all, I can go back into the project browser. Right click on the project, say close current project. And now I do not have a current project open, ready to be used. So if I close out, I don't have the Project Navigator up. Even if I click on the Project Navigator, it's still going to open up the project browser asking for a project to be opened. Now here I'm going to go ahead and open a project back up. I'm going to open the sample one that comes with AutoCAD Architecture. Wanted to mention a new feature about AutoCAD Architecture. It has to do with the project browser. So in here, if I go to Constructs, I'm going to go into the shell of the drawing. So here I have the drawing made, and one of the new features is if I come in here and make a drawing or open up a drawing, I can right-click on the file over here, and there's an option to check out. So when you check out a drawing, over here you'll see a little check mark next to the project browser or on the Project Navigator, and that means it's been checked out by someone. So then when you're making changes to a drawing, so here I'm going to delete these walls, and I'm working, and then I'm going to save the drawing. Then when I'm finished, I can right-click, say check in. And then it's going to come up and ask for some comments. Hit OK. So once you've checked out a drawing and then check in a drawing, you get the comments. And then in the Project Navigator, they have this check-in history. If I hit the little plus sign here, it's going to expand it. Then you'll see the history of when a drawing was checked out and checked in. So here I could see the comment that I made, deleted some walls that were not needed. I can right-click on that, and I can roll back to this version, open read-only, and visually compare. So here I'm going to do that with this one here. This was a while ago. Here you can see it says 0430. If I right-click on it and say visually compare, I'm going to get a visual comparison of what it looks like compared to now. So here in red, that means that these walls are deleted. They do not exist in the original or the new file. If they are green, they are new. I don't have any new walls here, but if I was to check this out again, draw new walls, do the visual compare again, there would be green for new elements in the model. So here's just to give a good representation of what has happened. Autodesk has actually helped out quite a bit with this, that you can visually compare, but also that you can roll back to an older version. This was always handy in the past. For instance, if a drawing became corrupted, it was so hard to restore a previous file and put that back into the project browser correctly. But here we can roll back to an older version. So that is how you would use the project browser and project navigator in AutoCAD architecture. And at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Scott to finish up.
Thank you, everyone. We'll just go over the events here real quick, and then we do have some questions that came in throughout the webinar, so we'll address those here with Kyle and then follow up. And if you have any more questions while I'm reading off these events, please feel free to send those in as well. But upcoming events, we have Panzura on July 15th. And that is going to be, and also GlobalScape on July 23rd. And those both are data management solutions, various solutions, and we've recently partnered with Panzura and with GlobalScape. So please feel free to join us. You can look at how to manage your AutoCAD files from site to site. And then also, we've introduced our Midwest University. It was formerly Minnesota University, and we're now accepting abstract proposals for classes. So if you have a workflow that you'd like to share with colleagues or peers and you think others would benefit from seeing this workflow, please feel free to submit an abstract, and we'd love to have you come and teach at our event. And that can be located at midwest-u.com. And also, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can see this webinar and others and stay up to date on all of the latest from CTC. We also have a CTC ticket giveaway for those in the Midwest or those willing to travel. If you tweet about a customer experience with CTC and use the hashtag CTC customer, you'll be entered into a weekly drawing for Vikings tickets to the 2014-2015 season. So with that, I'll start some of these questions here. Again, feel free to send in more. But Kyle, the first one we have here is they're wondering if you can load the project browser or manager into AutoCAD Classic, for example, if it's not AutoCAD Architecture or AutoCAD MEP.
AutoCAD Classic or just AutoCAD in general does not have a Project Navigator or Project Browser feature capability inside of it. It is only an AutoCAD Architecture and AutoCAD MEP feature.
Okay. Well, that looks like that concludes the questions coming in from the audience today. If anyone else has any questions here, we'll stay on for a little bit. But otherwise, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to having you at future events. Thank you.